this is Joseph 3 Banks, aka J3B, and this is another Run the Comics, your usual Wednesday pickup, which every Wednesday is New Comic Wednesday. And I'm gonna do this video a little bit different. People say that I have been, I've had a little few, which I'm glad we had the comments so we can talk and communicate. So it seems my music been up a little too loud. So this time, acapella, okay, acapella. Let's see if we can keep your attention with just the vibrato of my voice, okay? Two spots, Books A Million and another LCS called Dave's Comics, and I just wanted to show you what I grabbed. Books A Million is always great for getting variants, fried pie variants particularly, and also discounts. So let's just go to this real quick. First up, Supreme Squadron number, I think it's 11. Yeah, number 11. Actually, I need to get number 10. I think I have number 9, but this is Alex Garner cover, which is really dope. Alex Garner, one of my favorite comic artists. I call him one of the Alexes, you know, him and Alex Ross. They're two of my favorite artists, top 10. Lady Castle number 2. Really interested to get into this. Alicia, let me say her first name right, but Alicia Woods is the artist. I think that's her first name. Let me just double check. We have a new, well, Ashley Woods actually, but she's not actually illustrating this one. This one's illustrated by Becca Farrow. So it should be interesting to see how this new artist, what this new artist brings. But Ashley Woods does the cover, and she did the first issue. And she also did the character designs. Long-standing Marvel character who, I don't see how this is. Silver Surfer. It's bagged. I'm going to pop this bag and actually read it. But fried pie variant for Silver Surfer number 1. So this should be very interesting. I think that's, I'm trying to think, is this in what universe is this? Is this the, was he married before, or he had a relationship with someone before? I wonder if this is that person, or is this somebody new? So I'm interested to know who this lady is riding his surfboard. And lastly, this particular book, like a few of them, has its own television show, which is now coming out. And that is American Gods, number 1, fried pie variant. And I think what I'm going to do is with the American Gods, with some other titles, I'm going to do an in-depth review of these and do it as a part of my Theology Fridays and really compare the scripture with a lot of these comics which are talking about religion or religious themes or theological themes, and kind of looking at how they compare to actual scripture. We know that these comics aren't actually, they're not promoting a religion per se, but the artists, the writers, they are giving their views on the culture, religion of the times that they're living in. That's what art has always been about. It's about examining the times and actually giving your voice or your thoughts about the times. And we've seen a lot of books that deal with a lot of religious themes or things that tie in with religion or faith or belief systems. So American Gods is now, I forgot what channel it's on, but it's been picked up, and it's actually, I don't know if it has been aired yet, but if it's been aired, then it's just recently got on the air. Or if it hasn't been aired, it's going to be airing soon. So I would really like to dig in that and see exactly what it is, to critique it, and give my viewpoint to not only this book, but other books. And I'll kind of go through those that deal with gods. And we've been having those ever since Thor and other characters. Spawn deals with these themes, Daredevil. So I think it'll be interesting to deal with, theology and comics. Maybe I'll put that as part of my Theology Friday. I'll see. But at Dave's Comics, this is what I picked up. Generation X, which is the Age of Apocalypse version of Generation X. This is number 2. I have number 1, so this is number 2. So it should be very interesting. Needs another bag. This bag is nasty. Yeah. But we'll get another bag for that. 50 cents. Infinity Incorporated with Steel Superman on the cover. And I don't know her name. I gotta look it up. I forgot what her name is. But it's a pretty cool cover. Infinity Incorporated. From 07 actually, November 07. So this is number 1. Because you know Infinity Incorporated is actually an older property from DC. Goes back to the 80s. So it's like a rebranding of that, a reimagining of that. And this I picked up because of the cover. Remember what those Alexes I was talking about earlier? Alex Ross cover of Thulsa Doom, or Thulsa Doom, number 1 from Dynamite Comics. I read a little bit through, so I didn't read the whole thing, but I read a little through this. So he's a slave who is, dude is a beast. Tell you right now. From what I'm reading, he don't have no powers or nothing that I know of. But there's some crazy stuff going on. Look, here's a preview for the second cover. I got this for the 50-cent bin. This is an interesting read so far. And I just kind of skimmed through it, but... And finally, chapter 5 of Black has come out. If all the superheroes were African American, well, I think African American, were of African descent, how would the world respond? So I've been waiting on this for a while. It's a very interesting comic that it's not just for black people. Just because you have a character that is black, or a comic book that's black, or a comic book company, or independent comic, it's for all people. And I think that's one thing we're learning more. There's so much diversity, and that's where some issues happen with Marvel about diversity. But for me, I'm kind of one of those old heads who kind of go with the same thoughts. If a character has been a certain way for a while, changing them, it's okay to change, but some changes, like I think some changes work, but then some changes don't. For example, I'm not doing a run, I'm doing a little talk right now. The Mighty Thor. The change that was done for the Mighty Thor with Thor, spoilers for them who haven't been reading Thor or Unworthy Thor. Thor find out that he's no longer worthy to hold Mjolnir. And then this other lady grabbing Mjolnir, and she getting the powers, but she also had cancer. So when she has the hammer, she's cured of it. But I think she gets weaker every time she goes back to being the regular lady. So at first I was like kind of hesitant about this Thor being a woman Thor, but the way they have been writing the story has been, I have issue 1 and I read a little bit through, and I've been reading Unworthy Thor. It's very compelling. I think they did that right. Other changes, I don't think the change I wasn't big on the changing of Nick Fury. Also, the new Nick Fury, Fury number 1 is out. I was going to get that, but I didn't. I'm going to wait on that. Changing him to black, I think there's some other dynamics about the story of who Nick Fury is. I think he's more of an idea than actual person, which I think I would dig. But there's some other characters that's gone through comic history has changed, and I don't think you need to change. I think a lot of times, change is good, and change makes the character more vibrant. It expands upon the legacy and history of a particular character, but all the times it's not needed. A lot of times it's done just because the culture has changed, and you want to appease the culture. When you're trying to appease the culture, I'm not really into that, but I know I usually deal with these things in my Sola Comica playlist or my Sola Comica vlog, but I just want to throw that in there. So let's keep on. Doctor Strange number 19. Kevin Nolan, cover artist, and I gotta see if this is the last book that Chris Bachalo is illustrating and Aaron is writing. I don't know, but if it is, this may be my last Doctor Strange book for now. I'm not gonna say the people coming in is gonna do a bad job, but Chris Bacco is one of my favorite artists. When I mean by favorite artists, I mean top 10, possibly top 5, possibly. Okay. God Country number 4. I like this story. Interesting story. Very interesting story. And what's happening to the main character, the grandfather, what's about to happen to him now. I'm really interested to see what's happening now. So that's a very good story. Very well paced. Super Sons number 3. At the mercy of Kid Amazo. This is going to be very interesting. I think they'll be going up against their dads in this comic, but I actually like it's a fun comic. I think some people may not be into it, but it's not really kiddie, but it has those jovial aspects, the bantering. That's the best part about Super Sons, the bantering between Damien and John. Their banter between each other and just their responses to stuff is funny to me. The aftermath of the Superman Reborn, Trinity number 8. This is going to be very interesting, as they have, I think you may get some more storyline into who this mysterious character is. I think it's Mr. Oz, whatever, the guy you see in the back. Hopefully there'll be some more information about him, but Trinity's been very solid. Now this is my little Black Panther spill. Black Panther, Black and White, Chapter 1. That's a dope cover. I saw it mainly because of the cover. And why did I notice the cover? Because the Andy Hubert cover. Andy Kubert. We're from the Andy Kubert School, the Kubert School of Animation. It's his cover. That's so dope. And these Black Panthers, especially early Black Panthers, and here's Black Panther number, that was number 51. This is Black Panther number 33. That's just a dope cover. Look at that, ripping through. Before I get to the last book, I got my kids this. I want to do an unboxing, but then it's a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle video. Super Shredder. We're missing a few. They got like the first seasons, and we're missing some between. They've been watching it on Netflix. Not Netflix, but YouTube. But we've been missing the ones before this because for Shredder to get to like he is here, we're missing like those chapters right before that. But this right here, it's gotten, I would say, darker a little bit, but it has gotten darker. Some other things has popped up, but it's pretty interesting. Got my kids that. I think they're enjoying it. And lastly, everybody loves this guy's artwork. You know what I'm talking about. You gotta have one of his. Gotta have one or a few of his. This is like my second cover of his, book of his actually. I don't think he does the interior, just the cover. But everyone has one of this guy's covers in their collection. Got to. Catwoman number 72 by Adam Hughes. Zatanna. Which one will Catwoman be? In despair, sorrow, or getting all the money? Tough choice. But just the way, you have to see this in person. The details in her vest, the details in the background, the curtains. I like how he uses like blocked out color, which is without all the shading that he'll use. It looks very like Illustrator, which I wonder if he does, if he paints it, or does he do a combination of pencil work and also like Adobe Illustrator or some other digital drawing or painting program, because it looks like it, but you never want to say that if they didn't, or if there's a combination. Because when you look at her stockings, you see like how it's kind of blocked. The colors are very it goes from the light to dark, but it's like just two steps rather than a blend. So it looks like something that was done in like Illustrator. But man, just the image, just his. I see why people love him, and once comic books started using actual like artists, visual artists for their covers, I think it really took comic books to a place where that's why these are worth a lot of money. Because back in the '80s, they had dope covers, but everybody just your cover was a fight scene or something like that. But once you start getting more using graphic designs and pop art sensibilities and high art and visual graphic design imagery, and when you start getting, I'd say, more artsy, you start seeing a lot of great artists being used and coming in and doing work, and also seeing a lot of the popularities just explode for artists. But that's what I got, man. Hope you enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I'm ready to dig into these and see what they're about, especially that American Gods. I really want to see what that one is about. I have an idea, especially after seeing a clip of the television show. So we'll see how well this is depicted, or what it depicts, and how well they depict it, and see how I take it. But yo, this is Joseph 3 Bakes, aka J3B, for Run the Comics episode. I think this is 22, and I am out. Grace and peace, as always.